Cruising, huh? Hello, welcome back to Translating Angel Scaly Wings. I've calmed down a bit. Ah, who am I kidding? I'm still pissed. This irks me. Like, I understand that she... No, actually, she is... Yeah, she would probably be very pissed. Anne does not take much shit very quickly. I'm not gonna make it too long, though. I don't feel much like it. For one, tomorrow I got a DMing session I gotta host, which is gonna be something else. I'm nervous. Also, still don't know who's act. Oh, god damn it. It's such a fucking chore. So the reason it's such a chore... Really? This song plays with Anna? The thing that gets me is... Like, some people are in goddamn Florida. Some are on West Coast, some are East Coast. I'm in Europe! And some of them just can't fucking be bothered to be up in the morning. The only reason I'm fucking doing this is because one person has like 7 day a week work and doesn't have weekends off. So it's like, I can't do this. I can't video game. Like, I know that sucks. But there are some hobbies you just can't do if your schedule is that kind of weird. And something that requires social alignment abroad. You might want to consider finding a D&D club closer to home and setting things up with them. I don't know, I don't know. Not to mention the fact it'd just be better for you. Like, it's better. You can just take a book with you to work and read the book when you get some time. I don't think Anna would be the kind of person that'll like being called out like that. Like, hello? Wow, this is new. It's actually, we actually get some fucking new lines. What did come up? Probably her cancer. The funny thing is, the cancer is kind of the big spoiler I spoiled myself by, and I was like, oh no. And now I'm like, Oh man, I don't know. The funny thing is, Anna's not the kind of person you think, It's a lot to say, a lot I want to say. Demon Steel is kind of fun once you get into it, though. I gotta say that much. The Iron Maiden upgrade's great. Holy finagling. Like, it's kind of funny that Anna just leaves a fucking note. Even you're implied to be just in time, which puts a lot of question marks as to whatever Anna. Like, the way people consider timing is kind of a big deal. Like, some people are like, you're on time when you are literally there when it's that time. Some people think on time is like, I get 50 minutes. And others are like, no, you gotta be there 50 minutes ahead of time. Like, you gotta plan ahead and have like, swing room. I don't think Waiting Game actually has a Dutch equivalent. The Waiting Game. Fuck, that's not even correct. That's like not even proper. It's the game isn't waiting. The waiting is the game. Like, what a way to start your second date, huh? Like, here's the thing. Why don't they start the first date this kind of a mess? Like, Remy is like the... Remy feels like the biggest mess. I guess Adine is kind of eh. But, like, that's something I'd probably do. Like, thinking back on Affinia, like, making Affinia a dateable character, your first date would probably be a mess. Like, the expectations would be malaligned. She'd show up like 50 minutes late and say, I'm still technically on time. Like, you're not fucking work. You're not gonna dock my pay because I'm 50 minutes late. And that's what you're gonna have to put up with for 5 dates. 4, technically. I think the 5th date's the ending for some weird reason. There's also another thing is that I really like is someone mentioned, why do characters survive? Like, I understand the whole loop thing, but you can actually do a playthrough where you save everyone yourself. You have to do nothing for Bryce other than not tell him. You have to do nothing for Remy. You really only have to date... You have to date Adine 4 times. You need to date Anna twice. You need to date Lorem 3 times. You can fit that in the schedule. Can you? Can you? Can you, though? Like, I don't know what the exact requirements for Adine's death are. Like, then you do... No, you can't, can you? You do Anna, Lorem, so that's just to save Anna and get Lorem set up. They do Lorem. They do Adine. They can only do Adine 2 more times. So you can never make it to that crucial... Unless it's like an earlier date that triggers her don't die requirements. I don't know. Oh, I forgot this part. This is so fucking bad. But it's such a... Like, again, I have to anticipate potential generic situations in which this is used. Name it. I guess it could be worse. This is irking me. Yes! Like, there was one fucking white pixel line. Oh. Thing is, she takes an hour. And for... what was it anyway? Was it... It will come up in a moment. I should just keep doing this. Wait a minute. It doesn't actually specifically record the kind of... date you're having, which is interesting because yeah, because like being stood up, Anna seems like the kind of person who'd be very mad if you stood her up like that. Adine would be disappointed. Remy would probably wonder. No, Adine would wonder if it's her, if she's like, oh no, I'm not worth waiting for. Remy would just think it's rude. Bryce would be like, you know, I'm not that patient a guy. You'd probably be a little bit... You'd be annoyed, but he wouldn't be angry, you know? And Lauren would probably be like, I'm sorry. Like, come on. Don't try again. Oh, come on. Which is weird, because I've already pointed out that Lorem's story would work a lot better if Lorem's story was that he doesn't want to be friends. Like, that's the other thing, is Lorem is extremely sociable with Ipsum around someone that he has... an odd... Like, his relationship with you at that time is kind of weird, and it makes it even weirder that he's like, with Ipsum, it's like, bleep. Like, how are you not a couple? If someone gives you that kind of social energy, that you can just talk freely and do that, I don't care what your sexuality is, that's your fucking soulmate, buddy. There's nothing you can do about that. Tough luck. That person gives you energy that no one else can. You're gonna have to accept it. The funny thing about this is you could have just said, I've waited an hour, I could wait another hour. You know? Might as well double down, bitch. Doubling down. It's your friend, doubling down. Wait, how does it know that, Does it even... Is it able to tell that or not? Oh, I get it. These are just labels, aren't they? They're just jumping points. And once it reaches a new label, just skip... But how does it know this? Like, how does it know this? Does it count tab spaces? Because if it does that, that's very bad. I can only assume it actually counts tab spaces or something like that. Because how else would we be able to tell the difference between this line and, you know, whatever the menu is in there or not? Also, don't stand up your fucking dates. At least leave him a message. Yeah, like, how does it know? Wow, I love how the image is called Heard About Cancer. Ain't that something? By the end of this, I'll probably be able to talk fucking chromatic scales under the table about knowledge regarding this game, because hot ziggity, a visual novel is just the language. What? Like, where does this come from? I'm gonna score myself some sweet lab equipment? They really think they're not gonna notice? Like, you probably went into that building with someone seeing you, for one. So this is a little different, because I do think it's very unusual where your character suddenly starts talking about theft. Because I think the implication is supposed to be that you're just gonna look at the crap. So I'm like, oh, time to look at their laboratory equipment. Let's just have a look-see. Yeah, you can see how Dutch compound words get funny. Oh. The funny thing is, I think I could actually manage. Like, it depends on the circumstances. If I'm alone, and I know I'm alone, and I can just wander my ass off and talk to myself. Fun fact, probably hold out for a while. That, and I usually carry books with me anyway, so I can just read a bit. Ooh! Whoa! What's this? Notices your envelope. Oh, it's cancer. The funny thing is, and I want to mention this. I actually didn't pick this one up because I was trying to be nice on my first go. I should have. Would have saved me the fucking pain. No, wait, I think I didn't do it because I already knew. So this is, I changed this a bit. It carries the same feeling, but it's a little bit cheekier, because you're being a cheeky boy. A little arening makes the time to go faster, right? I like how it doesn't actually specifically mention cancer. How strange. So does your character just know that or what? Because it doesn't mention this at all. It just mentions an envelope. Like, this is an Anna song, I guess. But it feels a bit too cute. I mean, that's a little harsh, but I like it. You read Anna's letter. If she ever finds out, you better reserve a grave for yourself. It's such a beautiful door. I think I'm going to ditch you on this date, Miss Anna, and take your door out for a day. And you pull it from its hinges and just go out. Date with a door. Oh my god. If in whatever the hell comes after death, I'm gonna fucking make that game with a video. Like, stupid random crap is her MO. But it's the kind of crap that goes far enough that it just loops into itself. The point is, she's insane enough to just not give a shit, but in the end it sort of works out anyway. It's like you go with a date at a door and it becomes a legitimately well-written date, effectively. Like, you're like, that was an interesting date with a door. I've never considered life as a door in such a perspective. And it won't be like low random, it'll be done. When she goes low random, she goes the full fucking mile and makes sure that it is a concrete, complete experience. You don't go, oh, I guess monkey dishwasher. No, she fucking takes a monkey, stuffs it in a dishwasher, and sits on it, and makes you watch, and goes... It's gonna be sparkly, ain't he? Fucking glitter monkey. Oh, come on, you gotta know a pun about fucking primates and the glitter, right? Ah, it's gotta be something. Someone should address the pink elephant in the room. I think it might be offensive to do so. She has no sense of personal space either. For a while. But that's kind of the point. Is that as you learn to tolerate her, she kind of like, you're not fun. Because you're not reacting. Like, she still likes you. She doesn't like she wants you to be funny and fancy, but as she realizes that trying to fuck with you isn't making you angry. Like you react. Like you have to react, because if you don't, you're boring. But when you do, she starts to realize you're coming her way, and it's like there's something about that doesn't work for her. It's like you're not stoic, but you're not genuine either. So it's like, you know, it's kind of like when Australian people swear to each other as like jokes. It's like, it's cute. It's cute for them, and it's got meaning behind it. But, you know, it's like, part of it is that it's not sincere. Like, she still fuck with you, but she's not gonna push for it. She's not gonna push the envelope. And you're gonna have to carry it yourself too. That'd be your good ending, finding a fucking joke book and keeping... Now, that'd be disingenuous, and also be assuming that the player character does not, in fact, have a good sense of humor. Which, considering some of the pun systems throwing out at you, probably do. Reading comprehension is not a term I've seen this. I just love thinking about Affinia's date. Wow, that's a fucking oof. Like, the thing I'd like to think about that is, the thing is, it's the same with Lorm. Many dateable characters, you establish a relationship with that person, and it goes somewhere. Lorm is the missed opportunity for the person that doesn't actually want to date you. I mean, sure, you become friends with the dean, but clearly there's an emotional connection there. Like, there's something about her that makes her trust you. You're close friends, and there might be something in there more. There might be a marriage in there. With Anna, it's the same. Like, you're clearly on a deep emotional level connected. With Remy, there's the same thing. It's like he feels open and refreshed about something. Like, like, maybe he'll channel all those years of not loving to you. And with Bryce, who the fuck even knows? He probably has sex with you. I mean, his dingle-dongle is out at the end, for frick's sake. And Remy gives you a big ol' smoochum. But Lorm is the missed opportunity of the person who clearly feels something for you, but it's the platonic kind. And it doesn't get explored properly what it means to be platonically interested in someone to that extent. And it feels so flat and disingenuous because it's not what the point is. And that's what I want, that's given the chance, what I'd want to achieve is, first you've got to get past her. You got to get past that layer. And once you get, like, the first date is the layer. You got to get to know that she's kind of weird, and you got to get past that. Then the second layer, what would that be? Would that be approaching her on a personal level? Because I've got several ideas in mind as to what the situation is at the time. One of which is that she's kind of in the blip situation. What would be a good way to explore that? I guess something that would be interesting is the acknowledgement that it's a platonic relationship. Because with Remy, you're being overtly, like, romantic. Like, you're just being an ass at that point. With Lavinia, it could just be, you avoid, with Lorm, it's just you're being an ass. And with Remy, you're being an ass. But with Lavinia, it'd be, don't come on strong. Because, for one, she's the one who causes shit. She likes to be the agitator and in control. And she doesn't like it when things go too fast, where she can't properly anticipate and control it, you know? Because especially you've already tolerated her. And if you actually were going to be a romantic hissy fit, you would have done it before, and she would have said no before. So that would have been that. What would the third and fourth be? The fourth one would be the resolution. We kind of the moment like, listen, dude, like, we could have a platonically sexual relationship, but it's going to stay to that. I'm not interested in marrying someone, because tying herself down, like, even if she ties herself down with someone who's like her, she wouldn't marry herself, because being stuck with someone in that way, no matter how open or free they are, you're still tying yourself down. You're still limiting what you could do and who you can hang out with in the end. You can say what you want about marriage, but it's something you got to be sure about. And she's sure she doesn't want it, because it's not something she could deal with. And to some extent, that ties nicely into the idea I have with she's an ex of Anna, but Anna's like, and Sebastian is her brother, and Sebastian's like, because of one event. It's both the same event. Which made me realize, one, she can't continuously cling to her brother and be like, and oh god, her story's it's so convoluted, but it makes for such a strong impression. Like, the third one could be that. Could be her talking about the problem she has and how she knows that she doesn't want to do that. It's like, at the end, she's like, listen, I don't give a shit about relationships, because he's been my brother for so long, my adoptive brother at that. But even I don't think I can stick with him forever. Now that I've been without him for a while, like, I've been unable to reach him, I'm fine with that. And not having a relationship that has any sort of basis whatsoever, I'm still fine with that. The funny thing is, Uh, that is her character trait. She doesn't really want anything real. It's too real. Too real, kids. God damn it. You know, that's the funny part. You write a character, and you do something, you're like, shit, that's actually consistent with their character. I did that for funsies, but it's actually consistent with the character. To accidentally propose to someone and be like, I don't want this. Like, this was fun in the moment, but I don't want... Like, oh, that's not good character writing, necessarily. But that is knowing how the character would flow and react to things. Because some people are like, it's gonna work. No. Listen, people, some ships just don't work. Sometimes they just don't. And you're gonna have to accept that. It is hot in my room, and I'm melting, and it's causing me to talk too much. Look how Anna said. Look, that's kind of interesting. She legitimately feels upset about that, huh? What was she doing, though? Anyway, anyway. Anywhere. Like, another funny thing is to consider your character as, if you have one and you give a shit. Like, it could just be fucking, I don't care. I care if it's Dungeons and Dragons dipshit. But to consider how they would adapt to situations. Like, what would they be like if they grew up in a slightly different circumstance? You know, that's something to consider. That's the wrong copy. Because this is... I can actually take it out of here, can't I? Yeah, I don't know. Like, there's a lot to think about. Oh, look, she actually becomes sad over this. Aww. Shouldn't she be smiling and be like, yeah, because I am the best? You know, I don't... Like, the funny thing is, and this is something to consider, is... Like, this is because I'm just that kind of person who likes to fucking jump from branch to branch. Like, Ophinia exists in a lot of other, like, fandoms as insertions. And they're all different. There's a core character that's consistent, but the circumstances are different. And to me, that's an interesting exploration of a character is, what if they grew up in a drastically different circumstance? You know? Like, what if they grew up as someone who lost their parents and kind of just got given the shaft and then was given a fantastic golden opportunity compared to her original, which is just like... or her being adopted by a more military side of life and trade in a tight regiment. Or being a robot, which is actually kind of a bad exploration of a character, since it has nothing... God, why am I'm talking about this because it's hot in my room, and that takes away my focus. So if you are ever in a location that is hotter than hot, as in very hot, or somewhat hotter than regular hot, do roll for concentration. You get a -2 for every degree hotter it is than you can possibly bear. Losing track of time. Tijdverlies verliezen? Ha! For somebody less dirty. Why do you say suppose? Like, you literally showed up and waited. At this point, that's kind of a weird thing to say. And now she's sad. Oh. Late screening. What the fuck does bioscope even mean? Like, where does the term come from? Don't talk about fucking basic input operating systems. So here's something to consider about Anna dying. Anna's time limit is kind of fucked, isn't it? Like, she dies relatively quickly after the was it months? It's implied to be less than a year at least. Goddamn. Like, does she know? If you get the good ending, does Anna know? Like, she knows to stop working as hard, but does she remember her... Like, could you imagine that? Like, because you die so close to a time loop, you remember the day you die. That'd be kind of scary to me. Like, she probably remembers, like, who knows? Like, maybe she just feels like she has to work less. Maybe she remembers her death and it's like, I'm not going to come into work. Like, what is it? Do people remember their death specifically? Do they learn their lesson or not? Because it's implied they kind of learned their lesson, like the lessons they learned about themselves, they remember. Oh, man. Or maybe all you have to do for Lorem is get to the second date, because then you could do a team. There you go. Oh, you go to the alley, which is a surprisingly rare location that comes up never. What is with alley? Like, a lot of locations come back a bunch of times, or at least they feel like you visit them. But this alley, for one, is very nondescript. Like, look at this alley. Look at this alley. Like, for one, this looks really bad, even from a 3D perspective. Like, this was clearly a location that wasn't meant to be used, considering the lighting out there. But look at this alley! Why did you go to this alley of all alleys in the world? This is not an alley you cross through. This is an alley you intentionally go into for some nefarious purpose. Like, this is clearly a fence. You're not supposed to be here. I do love how the drawn... I do agree that the drawn pictures have a bit of a stronger sense to them. It's kind of interesting because I think Ovinia's background doesn't actually exist anywhere else, which is kind of interesting. Oh, rice fields. telephone booths. When does that one come? That doesn't come up much either. I got the viewing spot. It's just a piece of road. And this, like, this is more memorable. I guess the alley is just so nondescript, your brain doesn't even register it at all. So it's like, whoop. Okay, chapter Fracas. So this only unlocks Heard About Cancer and Heard About Cancer Envelope. Do these come up anywhere else? So this is the more generic statement. So that's not the trigger. Then what? Where's the trigger? I just love that. Oh, what? Oh, what? Oh, this gets you your fucking, blood report. Wow, your blood report is how you earn that, huh? I like how they talk about this blood report and then they mention, God damn it, this is not how you set up a date. This date also feels kind of shorter than I remember it being. Also, this is kind of interesting. I like how it's called Old Gray because they needed gray characters because they couldn't do coloration things. Yeah, 50%, but, So this is a problem that irks me. How the hell does she know what a monkey is, and how does she know genetic similarities? Has she gotten that far? Like, why does she look into that specifically? That doesn't seem very relevant to her. Eh. But I don't know what that is. For that, we're gonna have to go to a special little place. Eh. This time I'm not gonna see that fucking junk. Oh. Fracas. Yeah, this is where that shows up, huh? Wait, but he doesn't mention anything about cancer. Like, he doesn't mention cancer. He mentions blood tests and genetics, but he doesn't mention that it's cancer research. How the hell do we know that? How did this suddenly go bloop? What I can only imagine, like, it doesn't even require you to read the envelope. This actually makes me want to look at this one and this one, because these are the updated files, and they did fix some things. Whoop. Yeah, like yeah, so why? Damien doesn't mention cancer research at all. And you don't have to read the letter, so you don't necessarily know. This is so weird. I can't work. It's too hot. I'm melting, and I'm talking too much about things that don't matter. Bye!